Alrighty, we're going to talk a little bit about characters and how to create a character. So the things that I like for people who are brand spanking new, some of this might be a review for you, but I want to go over your stats, your races, and the class options. So let's talk a little bit about stats. Oh, so of course the advert or the little animation works on this one. Anyway, scuffed. So stats. There's 6 stats in D&D. There's your strength score, your dexterity, your constitution, your wisdom, your intelligence, and your charisma. So the first 3 are typically your like body stats. So your strength is obviously like literally muscles. Dexterity is how fast you can move and like get around things, as well as like more movement agility based things. Your constitution is going to be a lot of like poison effects, or maintaining concentration on something, or breathing, or running for a long period of time is going to be more of like a constitution based thing. Your wisdom, I like to call wisdom your street smarts. So that's going to be noticing things around you, reading people really well, tracking things in the woods, so on and so forth, where intelligence are going to be more of your book smarts. So history, learning about medicine, remembering something that you might have learned a long time ago. And then we also have our charisma. So your charisma is going to be a little bit of your how you talk and things along those lines. So it's going to be talking to people, flirting with people, or trying to convince people of stuff. And just saying, not all charisma has to be flirty. There are people who are more just very sweet, and that's still charismatic. And there's skills that are based off of each of these stats, and you can build characters based around all of these stats, which is part of the fun of this. And there's lots of different fighting styles, and there's lots of different magic styles. Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about races. So your race is going to determine what your character looks like, and what their background and culture is. With tons of options and homebrew is a possibility, you can create any character that feels right. So when I create a character and I'm picking a race, first of all, it depends if your DM's using Tasha's rules or not. If your DM is, that's like a whole different thing that we can talk about more specifically, but you can pick a race and your stats don't really matter. But every race that you pick has racial bonuses, and that's going to be a boost to your stats. So you might want to pick someone who's going to kind of fill in some of your roles for your stats. And you might want to just like pick something that doesn't make sense for the role-playing capabilities. Like, I absolutely love the idea of like a little teeny tiny Kenku, which is a bird person, barbarian, which is like a strength-based fighting raging thing, right? That's so cute. As compared to like a Goliath, which is typically like a really strong bonus character. Could be fun to play a barbarian or a fighter, but they also could be really fun to stretch the limits there and play something like a wizard. So don't feel free to like shuffle things around there, but consider your background, where in the land you are from in the world that you're playing in, what your culture was like, how does it help the stats for your class, and what does or doesn't make sense with your class. There's a ton of races, and it just like really depends on what your DM allows, because some tables allow certain races and don't allow certain races, as well as what you have access to. So those are really great options there. So feel free to go to D&D Beyond for stuff like that. Okay, then we have your classes. Your class is going to be essentially your job or your specialty. This is what you're going to grow in as you adventure, where you learn new skills and you increase your stats. So I like to split classes into 3 different types. You have your martial, your casters, and then you have your half casters. And I sorted them based on kind of what you typically go by. But some of the subclasses, which is literally what it sounds like, a little sub-base of it, are going to allow different abilities there. So For your martial, you have your barbarians, your fighters, your monks, your rogues, but some of them can be half-casters considered. And then you have your casters, which is going to be your bards, your clerics, your druids, your sorcerers, your warlocks, and your wizards. Not to mean that they can, like, not fight or be more of a half-caster. There's a couple of different, like, clerics that use tons of weapons. Bards sometimes use tons of weapons. Druids, like, warlocks do. So it really... you don't have to fall in that category, but this is just very typical. And then you have your half-casters. So these are gain magic levels slower and are a little bit more in the kind of in-between and how they can balance off of each other. So your paladins, your rangers, and your artificers. And just to kind of help people, what I did is every caster, people who can use magic, have an ability score that they cast from. So I put in parentheses which one that is. So that's going to be your mental score. So either charisma, wisdom, or intelligence. So, all right. So that is kind of your breakdown for how to build a character. You're going to try to think about things along those lines that are going to help you learn and help you play something fun. So on Twitch here, we're going to actually build a couple fun characters. So stay tuned for that. And when we run our Chat Plays D&D, these are the 4 characters that are going to be featured. So this is going to be really fun there. But if you're on YouTube, leave a like, let us know what characters you like to play, if you like to stretch the bounds or keep it very focused and very, like, I don't want to call it min-max, optimized is maybe a better word. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.